What is going on, you guys? Vikram Prashar here. Welcome to the VP Show and to another edition of the DropKick Podcast. This podcast is a little bit different. We have a comedian by the name of Hapenny on. You might have seen him on TikTok. He's on the rise, but basically I just wanted to let you guys know that before this starts, it's a little bit different than our normal podcast. Hapenny, as a comedian, he has some controversial and, some not so PG jokes. So if you guys aren't really all into that, I suggest that you guys click off this podcast, maybe wait for the next one to come out. We had a couple come out this week, so you guys can check those out if you haven't. But so just keep that in mind going into this, that he's a comedian, he's got an agenda, and he's got some controversial, TV-14 rated R jokes in there. So just so you guys know that ahead of time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the DropKick Podcast. He's a WWE producer / WWE veteran.
You're a 3-time WWE Tag Team Champion.
He's a former WWE Cruiserweight Champion. She's a broadcast personality, former member of the Nexus. He's a 4-time Emmy-winning TV host.
Canadian Wrestling Hall of Famer. She's an ACW Women's Champion. And she is the daughter of the late, great British Bulldog. Winner of WWE's Cruiserweight Classic.
TJ Black from Ring of Honor, from TJP, aka TJ Perkins, Georgia Smith, Darren Young, Arnold, Ariel Blake,
Chris Van Vliet,
Wrestling Classic, aka Justin Dillon.
Please welcome Tyson Kidd, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to an episode of DropKick Podcast. Today we have a special guest with us. He's a comedian.
He's got a pretty big following on TikTok with 7,000 plus followers.
Please help me welcome AJ Hapenny. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing amazing. 7,000. Oh, I don't know if we can hang. Do you guys even go here?
He's got his own TikTok page, yeah.
Yeah, I do have my own TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's a fun app for sure. But how's your quarantine been so far?
Well, I've been working through most of it, and then when people get near me, it's like, ugh. Like even at the grocery store, people are a little too close. It's like even pre-quarantine, I'm not comfortable you being
that close, right?
Like
yeah,
exactly. Ever. I love how this is through Skype, and I had to download Skype. I haven't used it since 2006. And
yeah, there's a lot of updates. There's a lot of new features, and it's kind of confusing. But yeah, I feel you, man.
Yeah,
I think I used it on Windows 95 last time.
Wow, that's
wow.
Cool.
I'm doing another comedian podcast later on today. They're like, just hit me up through MySpace. And be like, holy shit.
MySpace.
I think it's just gonna go back every single time.
Every single platform, yeah. Honestly, it probably will, but wow.
I would have loved to have got laid off, but like, oh, you're working. Like, oh, son of a bitch. I don't want to be around. Like, sure, I'd be making a lot less money, and sure, I'm doing pretty well right now. But I just need that mental health to just be away from jerks.
Exactly.
I just need to be away. But if I did get laid off, I'd probably be saying the exact same thing. Like, oh, I wish they didn't fire me.
Yeah. That's the old saying, right?
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. But what was your upbringing like? Like, how did you get into comedy? And how did that come to be for you?
Well, my uncle Bobby, like, he had a bunch of George Carlin tapes, so I'd watch a bunch of those. And then comedy, I never really grew up planning on getting into it. I was just a big fan of it.
Mm-hmm.
However, I did get into comedy the same way I got into porn. I was tricked, and all of a sudden they started sticking microphones in my face. That was a good old modeling job, but kind of coming out, and then I've been doing it for 6 years ever since, and I've just been stuck. I haven't been able to quit because I need it.
Mm-hmm.
I need that stage time. And luckily, with that quarantine, TikTok has been able to provide some of that as relief. But before I went on stage, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different people, who do different acts, but it's really fascinating to like go up there and like actually go through with it. I don't think I would ever be able to like tell a joke and no one laughs, and like I'd probably like never see them. Like it's so embarrassing.
It's my world.
Yeah, I mean, it happens absolutely. But what got you into pro wrestling?
Also same thing. My uncle Bobby. My dad. Pretty much we grew up not having cable, but he would literally buy me all the action figures, literally all the action figures I want. And it started off with the WWF action figures. And Jake the Snake was probably my favorite out of them. And I never watched any wrestling. I just knew who they were because my Uncle Bobby, who was literally 8 years older than me, he would act out each wrestler and do their voice. So I pretty much knew who they were.
Yeah, just by voice. Yeah, just by the voice. That's cool, man.
Without actually seeing them. And then years later, I finally got to see an actual live event. And this was at the Cape Cod Melody tent. And the main event was Razor Ramon, who was my favorite wrestler, and versus King Mabel, who was later known as Viscera. It was supposed to be Bam Bam Bigelow, but I think he failed a drug test or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And so, okay, we're going to have King Mabel. And that's it. And Bob Backlund was also at that one, too. Like, my hometown isn't that big either.
Wow.
No, it's pretty dope.
That's crazy. Bob Backlund.
He faced Mountain Man Rock.
Wow. That's
wow, yeah, I don't know about that.
Odd match.
But have you ever thought of actually getting into the ring and like wrestling?
I've tried it. I actually did training when I was younger, but just not really my thing. Literally, my first day of training is like, oh, what happens if I retire? Because I honestly did not have the
backup plan.
I did not have the drive to do so. I put in more time into comedy later on because I wanted to, but like I didn't really want to put in the same amount of effort as professional wrestling.
Right.
I didn't really feel the need to. Then again, I was 18, and 2 to 3 months into my training, I broke my leg. Then I tried it 3 years later. Then I got concussion, and then I tried another school, and then I pretty much injured my back, and my back was fucked up for like 3 weeks. So I was like, nah, if I can't even get through training, it's like, nah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely not for everybody. It's a lot more difficult than people think it is, and yeah, it's crazy for sure. But like, starting the conversation back to TikTok a little bit, I think everybody loves the app. What TikTok of yours blew up? And yeah, sometimes. What TikTok of yours blew up, and how did you feel when it happened?
What TikTok? I'm just trying to understand the phrasing of the question.
So what TikTok of yours do you feel kind of grew your platform the biggest? If that makes sense.
Okay. I guess my continuation series, Bad Wrestling T-shirts.
Yeah, that
is. I got a big following from that. I also did a mini series, Racism in Pro Wrestling. And then because I was posting it, some idiot kids are just, oh, this guy is clearly racist. Like, I didn't film this, you dummies.
I know. People on TikTok are just
people on TikTok.
Crazy. This is why beating your children should be allowed again. Because kids are way too stupid to just, wow, you missed a great opportunity to shut the fuck up, kid. And then I look like a monster because I made him cry, and then his mom is messaging me, and then I end up making out with his mom. It's just like a weird cycle. And then the kid hates me even more now. It was, oh well, you don't care about anybody that isn't white. It's just, I'm not white, you dumb motherfucker. Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't know, but
these accusations that people that are older than me too are just like, well, your opinion is wrong. No, it's not, because it's an opinion.
Opinion, right.
Opinion can't be wrong. But wait, I
Mhm.
have a quick question, impromptu. Have you heard about the rumors about TikTok being banned in the U.S., and what do you think about that?
I think it's a political ploy to just for people to get their dick sucked around a very sexy issue. It's like, oh, we should ban an app. First of all, no app has ever been banned.
Right.
And I think it's just bringing up a conversation that's to distract people from other stupid shit that's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Epstein's wife probably gonna Epstein herself. She died of suicide.
Mm-hmm.
2 bullets in the back of her head and no gun around, but it's ruled as a suicide.
Right? Who makes the rules?
I don't think TikTok is going out of style. Like, there's maybe like a 5% chance in my mind that say, like, okay, maybe the government's dumb enough to actually ban something that's freedom of speech. The only reason why they do stuff like that is because of lack of research in general.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
TikTok originated as a Chinese company. You know what else did? Toyota. And they have OnStar. Are they spying on our shit? No.
Nope.
And we got Amazon as well. That's sending out like those little spy thingies. The little Alexas.
Yeah, Alexa.
That shit is spying on us too.
Never bought any of those. Yeah.
If hackers really wanted to get to us, they could. But each country, each region has their own company of TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok US will never give our data willingly to them.
Mm-hmm.
There have been hack reports. That shit just happens. Unfortunately, it does. Biggest example is maybe 2016, when I believe it was Target, that all their Target credit cards got hacked.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody has to do that. That has nothing to do with a country. It's just some asshole that wants to be diehard for and steal your stuff. But not an entire government is going to go against John McClane.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, China's going to steal our data. Oh, you mean like Zuckerberg hasn't sold it to the FBI already? Are you stupid? And every time we take a little picture like, oh, what I'm going to look like in 50 years, that goes to another company that's selling your shit.
Exactly. It's like a cycle of, just selling and buying. And like, that's just how things work. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But I don't know. You kind of sign up for it in a way.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you're on Facebook, like, look at me. I'm doing a thing. I know I signed up for it because I'm doing TikTok, for crying out loud. I'm a comedian, so ultimately, even though I'm an introvert, there's a big part of me that loves the attention. So I'm a target for that shit, and I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Like what came to my head was like, okay, I doubt that this is actually happening, but if China was to try to get my information, they already have it, so there's not even a point in banning it now.
Right.
They already have it in your profile. They know what you like. They know what movies you watch. They know what gets you hard. China doesn't have to look that far. It's the same thing. You'll watch Pornhub. It'll come up in like the little section. And just like, oh, this is what you like now. This is the suggestions that are going to come on up. By the way, this is one level up. You should explore this. Oh, fiefdom. I'm a fan of medieval times. Oh, it's totally not what I thought, but I'll still watch. What the hey? Ha! Great that you know me so well, Google.
That's creepy, man. Absolutely. But going to talk how everything started. Where did you get the idea of having the series Bad Wrestling T-shirts? Like, how did you come up with that?
Just seeing through it was I think like the one that hit for me the most was this web series called Wrestling with Regret by Brian Zane.
Oh,
and he had a video that said the worst items that are currently available on www.shop.com.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those was a R-Truth and Gold Dust t-shirt of them pretty much being like Step Brothers. The cover of Step Brothers.
I know that shirt.
And that pretty much inspired me to do the Bad Wrestling t-shirts from there.
Mm-hmm.
And I still haven't posted that one yet, and people are expecting me to post the Sin Cara one, which I'm purposely pushing it off.
Keep pushing it off. Find these other ones that people may not know of. You know what I mean? The Razor Ramon one, the fake Razor Ramon, and
but my grandfather got my uncle that shirt. It's like, oh, you got like Razor Ramon, you got this. Like, I'm pretty sure it was a bootleg shirt too, but like that was just like, no, this is the fake Razor.
Yeah, I don't know if people could not, notice that. I mean, some people did, but others are like, oh, I don't see anything wrong with it. You know what I mean? So.
Like, this is Razor Ramon if he was ordered through Wish.
Like,
it was so bad.
Yeah, honestly, man. But who's your favorite wrestler growing up besides Razor Ramon?
Macho Man for one. Ric Flair, probably my favorite of all time. Jake the Snake.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Hogan until I started watching him. It's like, I think you're just appropriating us.
Right.
And then when he came out that he was racist, I'm like, is it a surprise? Mm-hmm. It's a surprise. He's an old guy from the 50s that lived in Florida.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna criticize him for being racist because that's how he was raised.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how he was. And I honestly don't think he is that racist of his time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But like now.
Yeah, now it's terrible.
It's just like, well, I only called them the N-word if they're hood-like. Like, no, you shouldn't call them the N-word
at all.
Ever.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
That's bad form.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the same thing coming out with people stop doing blackface. It's always been racist, but time plus racism just makes it more racist. Mm-hmm. Like D-Generation X going out in blackface, awful.
Can't do it. Yeah.
Awful. And the majority of my friends found that funny. The only thing that I found funny was a segment was Jason Sensation doing an impression of Owen Hart, which was amazing. Jason Sensation, like he can do an impression of just about any wrestler. I found that part of it hilarious, but then seeing that's wrong. Well, then again, in health class, I think they played something like, this is Al Jolson. he is so racist that he can go on stage and just apply black shoe polish, no mirror, but he could just trace his face and it's perfect blackface.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Maybe if I wasn't shown that, I probably wouldn't have a big problem with that as a kid. But like now, the same group of friends from then see it now.
Yeah.
So all of our sense of humors are evolving, just like what we like in wrestling. I can't really watch like a full episode of WWF Raw because I think it sucks. Now, I enjoyed it when I was a kid, but then like see like this is the most tasteless bullshit I've ever seen in my life.
Honestly, I don't like some parts are good, don't get me wrong, but like other parts just don't make complete sense to me. So I'm just like on my phone, scrolling through Instagram or Twitter or whatever. But
yeah, fair enough. Like you'll never have the classics like Austin, The Rock, like even some of that when The Rock is telling I'm gonna shove things in your ass. Like where I come from, that's called flirting, Rock. That's not really a threatening thing. I'm like 3 towns over from P-Town, dude. If you're gonna put things in my butt, you better buy me a goddamn good dinner. And I know you make good money, Dwayne Johnson. You better throw the fuck down.
Honestly, man.
But Brian Pillman's like, oh, Terry Reynolds, you are now my sex slave. Jesus Christ. I thought we got rid of traffic. Well, maybe we didn't. I mean, look at Epstein, but just glorifying trafficking. And DX will always be one of my favorites. But then, as you know, a lot of those segments, they don't hold up.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't get talked about, but it's always there, you know what I mean? For sure.
Yeah. It's always talked about when Triple H Cosby'd Stephanie McMahon, raped her, and then married her. Like, but then the whole crowd was like, oh, that's okay. Like, no, that's literal sexual assault.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, Cosby went to jail for that.
And
that's depicted, and you're the good guy?
Wrestling sometimes, man. But absolutely.
But I'm curious to know who is your favorite TikToker for non-wrestling and wrestling? Like, if you could pick one for each.
For non-wrestling and wrestling. For wrestling, one like Heel Hugs, Heel Josh, and then Marky Extreme, as he pretty much he's pretty much the Zach Galifianakis between two ferns of wrestling in my eyes. And we follow each other too. And that was one of the first people that I really followed in the community. As far as non-wrestling, I'd say Papa Gut.
Papa Gut's good.
I don't agree with everything he has to say, but at least he puts logic behind what he has to say.
His words, right?
Which is probably why he's one of my favorite TikTokers. And then Roma Army, she's also one of my favorites too.
Yeah, they're both really good. Like, as you said, I don't agree with everything that they both say, but like, I follow them both. They both make their videos for a good cause, and that's what really matters. And they put actual logic behind what they're saying, for sure.
And what I like about both of them is because you can argue that they're both on opposite sides of the spectrum, but what I like about them is, okay, you're saying my opinion's wrong? Well, educate me rather than, no.
Right. Exactly.
All those people that do that are losers. And I do not talk with any of them. They're like, oh, why don't you do more reply comments, Agent? Like, first of all, if somebody has no profile picture,
point,
and they have 0 to 22 followers, and they follow 10,000 people, why the hell would I do a reply video to that and waste my time?
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you.
And the thing is, a lot of people don't necessarily understand when you start to build up more, because I'm hoping to get to 10,000 by the end of the summer. The more people you get, the more criticism from idiots. It don't matter. If they don't have a profile, who cares?
Right.
Fuck them.
I agree.
Like, if they died tomorrow, I would feel nothing because I don't even know if they're real people.
Right. It could be bots, yeah.
So. Yeah, 100%.
Like, Jim Cornette made a point that, like, most of the people that are criticized on Twitter aren't even real.
That's true.
It's people that have multiple profiles. It just, this is character me. I'm like, fuck character you and fuck actual you. But this is my persona. This is the thing. Fuck your face.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's why I can't get behind All Lives Matter, because I've met a lot of shitheads. And a lot of those people can go. Like, what? Yeah. All Lives Matter. What? You've never met a shithead? Like, you've never met, like, an in-the-way person that's just standing in a doorway? It's just like, no. I'll just stand here, just inconvenience everybody and not contribute to society. No. Fuck them.
Honestly, yeah.
I agree. Like, I think it's like people say, Black Lives Matter. Like, that's what people are trying to promote here. It's a protest to a protest. It's pointless. But
some people don't even know what they're protesting for, honestly. So that's like one of the biggest issues right now too.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't know what they're doing.
And yeah. But stirring this into another direction, on our podcast, we like to tap into mental health. So if you're comfortable with sharing, of course, have you ever struggled with your mental health? And do you have any advice for people who are watching that could be struggling?
Starting off, yes, I have. I was in a much darker place. This was probably 2013 going into maybe 2014. And then those that hung around me knew that I was just the most fucked up I've ever been in my life. Lexapro, my best friend, and I felt that no one else was. And when I moved out of the house that I was like initially in, and I got edged out, and it was kind of like a Game of Thrones situation. And I'm like, oh, you're supposed to be okay with that. I'm like, no, not really. Yeah. And then so I moved back to my parents' house, and then literally 2 weeks later, those same roommates are living in a house that's literally 2 houses down from me. And they have a big party, and it's literally right next to me. No invite.
Oh,
wow, that sucks. So it's like you knew them. Yeah.
All lives matter. That's, and just like shit like that. Like, yeah, nobody cares. Like, I am just a burden to people. Like, I'm just that. And then, like, at one point in my life, I'm not going to necessarily discuss where, but then after one suicide attempt, I need to get my shit right.
Yeah, to get it together, yeah.
Like, talking to someone is definitely important, but if I were to give advice, it doesn't necessarily have to be just one person. If you think about it this way, if you call the suicide hotline, it's gonna be somebody different. So you tell like people certain like pieces of stuff in your life that's going wrong. They only necessarily need to know that piece. They don't necessarily need to know like a whole build-up leading up to that. They don't need to know you for years for somebody to listen. So what the strange thing is, many of my friends know a lot about me, but nobody knows the most about me.
Right.
Even somebody, even my friend Aaron, who I consider one of my best friends, like the podcast I've been doing like the past like 4 weeks, she's finding shit out about me that like I haven't told her, or like I've only told like maybe like a couple of people. So as long as you're telling somebody just to get it out, if you keep it all in and just like one contained, and you don't necessarily have to tell everybody what's going on. Like, okay, here's what the shit is. As long as you tell like one person and you feel satisfied with that, you're fucking good.
You're good, yeah.
But if you need to tell more people, then by all means go for it. And then the second piece is if someone's a jerk, don't let it rent space in your head forever.
Right.
Like, in the back of my mind, anyone that's pretty much wronged me, I don't still hate. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, hey, maybe they're gonna get better. Maybe they're going to redeem themselves. I don't need an apology. I don't want an apology. Apologies don't mean shit to me. It's if somebody changes their life for the better and start doing stuff and start contributing, an able-bodied person contributing to society, then that's a win.
That's a change right there, right?
Like if you're wasting everybody's time and just doing things because it's your favorite thing, and you don't I'm going to do things to make it about me, and it's going to fuck everyone else over, but fuck everyone, me. We are all just future dead people.
Yeah.
We are all going to leave this world, and if you don't leave it better than it was, your life doesn't matter. Make your life matter. And even if you feel you're not contributing to society, if you're not taken away from other people, then that I'd say that that's a good thing. Like, like a big exception, like just like if you're a quadriplegic and you're sitting in a hospital, there's only so much that you can do, and there's a lot of people that gotta take care of you. You are that person is not a bloodsucker. The person that's a bloodsucker is someone that's an able-bodied motherfucker that's just going around just shooting their loads all over everything, fucking everybody over just so they can do their favorite thing, so they can be their favorite thing. That's why I like TikTok a lot, because it's a community. The only way that like we're ever gonna build up is if we commune and help each other out.
Absolutely.
That's why I like stand-up comedy in general, because anyone that I seeing that's not helping out to the scene, I don't fuck with them. I stay away from them because I know that they're not going to contribute to shit, and ultimately they're only going to get so far, and then they're going to end up quitting comedy. But yeah.
Well, thank you for the advice, man. I hope people really listen to it and, you know, take away something from it, because that's always the goal from these episodes and whoever we have on the show. But we like to ask one final question to all our guests. What's the next chapter for you?
I don't really know. It's depressing, but ultimately exciting at the same time. Because every day for me here, it's just my life doesn't matter. It's shit. But then other times, like, oh, I am so excited of the stuff that's going on. When I get booked through this website called Gig Salad, and also this other website through Gig Masters. Literally, and this is why I hardly know the next chapter of my life. The majority of the gigs that I was already booked on got moved to next year. Stuff that I've already been paid deposits for in 2019, I'm not doing until 2021.
Yeah, it's like 2 years. Yeah.
So it's amazing, like the amount of span that I have to wait to do this gig, and I just need to remember to stay alive for it. But all the craziness going on and disease, who knows? I hope I do. I've been officiating more weddings than I've been booked on comedy shows, and there have always been smaller weddings because of social distancing, and it's understandable. When I was talking to somebody on the phone on one of these gigs websites about moving some of the gigs to next year, I said, okay, your main activity that you get, your main profession says comedian. You've been booked on more weddings. Do you want to change your main profession to wedding officiant? I said, no, just keep it at that. I got off the phone and then I cried.
Oh, man.
Because, like, I question myself, is comedy really dead? Or is just my comedy dead? But either way, I know that the next chapter is not going to be what I expect. Like, I didn't expect to be doing a bunch of this. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't expect to be doing this. I didn't expect to do an app. Like, I've literally done, like, a half a dozen podcasts within the past, like, couple weeks, just because of people that I'm meeting on TikTok. And I've just thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, honestly.
I've met, like, a lot of cool people through that app. Like, even before that, a year before that, I never imagined I'd be booking comedy shows. I never imagined I'd be doing shows with people like Lenny Clark and Jim Brewer. I just didn't imagine myself headlining shows in rural areas, like, that are predominantly white and crushing it. That's stuff that I didn't expect. I didn't expect to, like, bomb in Boston, not do well there, but then do well in, like, more farm areas, which makes no sense. But, like, rednecks are my people. I'm telling you that. So absolutely. I'm excited for that. At the same time, I just know I gotta take it easy, have my timing, just chill. I'm hoping to get back to comedy full time, but then I also know that people that were booked regularly more than I was at certain clubs are just going to be booked more, and then I'm just going to be put on the back burner. So when the other phases start to come out, I I just need to figure out what I want to do with that. Whether that be more Zoom shows, have some smaller shows put together, have some private shows. The Zoom shows have been going well, but either way, my path has never been what I wanted it to be, and it's always been excited. So short story. Hopefully more comedy clubs, but that probably won't happen for me. For this part, it's probably gonna be something that I don't expect, because I didn't even expect to be officiating weddings like 3-4 years ago. But that's what I've been doing too, and that I may have the most amount of fun in, other than doing roasts, like doing corporate roasts. Mm-hmm. So you never know.
Never know what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. The journey continues, and death is the greatest adventure. But you want to do everything you can before that, and contribute to society. I want to make the scene as best as I can. I've been starting to let other comics intern with me so that they can learn how to do weddings too. So it's not just me. Do I get anything out of it? No, I don't get shit. But I'm trying to make this scene a better.
Trying to make it work. Right.
Whether I get a thank you or not.
Mm-hmm.
Just whatever you do, just make this a better place than it was. Make it a little easier for people. But
absolutely, you just got to keep networking. Also keep your options available, because you never know, what opportunity you can bring to the table, and you don't know how it can benefit you in the long run if you don't take it. And I think a lot of people get mad sometimes when they don't take opportunities and they see other people taking it, because you gotta just reach out for it. Whenever you see an opportunity, you never know when it come again. But absolutely,
that's a great point, because this is the perfect time to do so. Because most people are in quarantine. Most people are sitting on their ass. Like, what are you gonna do besides watch Netflix and Hulu, which is great. But if you're gonna be signing up for shit, you might as well be doing that.
Exactly. So to wrap things up, we usually like to play a quick game with all our guests. Basically, we're gonna list 10 pro wrestlers, and you can use either one word or one sentence to describe each of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So to start things off, we got Cody Rhodes.
Arrogant.
Seth Rollins.
I'm just doing the first word that comes out of the back of my head.
Okay, yeah.
Messiah.
Chris Jericho.
The greatest.
Okada.
Entertaining.
Bray Wyatt.
Funny.
Drew McIntyre.
Great face promos.
John Moxley.
Overrated.
Ooh.
Wow.
Daniel
Hey,
Bryan.
It's my opinion. It's not wrong. I'm gonna get I was like, you're wrong. Your opinion is wrong. I'm gonna get so much.
Yeah.
I don't like
bro.
I think Owen Hart was better than Bret. That's just my own opinion. He was better at promos. He was an all around better wrestler. Mm-hmm. I mean, Bret's timing was a little better, but that's about it.
Yeah, for sure. Daniel Bryan.
Underrated.
AJ Styles.
My favorite.
Orange Cassidy.
Future champ.
There we go. There we go. But where can we find you on social media?
Let's see. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, Pornhub, and that's going to be at AJ Hapenny. I deleted my Twitter, but I'll be starting a new one soon.
I'll show you out. Yeah.
Yeah, I purposely deleted because I'm seeing a lot of the humor that I had 15 years ago, and it's just like, oh man, this will get me canceled from a future job. Literally horrified by a lot of the shit that I said 15 years ago. I'm like, no, I don't care that I've been retweeted by wrestlers, and my favorite rock star D. Snyder It's just like, no, it's not worth it. I gotta get rid of that. But I'm on Instagram. Instagram's probably the one that I'm the most active on, and it's at AJ Hapenny. That's AJ Hotel Alpha and the word penny. Penny is spelled with 2 N's. You friggin' dopes. Well, that's spelled with 1 N. I'm just like, oh really? You spell penny with 1 N? Yeah, just 1 N? Are you kidding me? And then YouTube. Yeah, and Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook too, at AJ Hapenny.
All right, well.
And then I got a show next Thursday. So I'll be announcing on my Instagram, and that'll be through Zoom, and pretty much anybody can join.
All right, sounds good,
That's
man.
what I got.
Cool. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time, and hopefully everyone can enjoy this interview, small conversation, and we'll see you back again.
We'll see you. Thank you for having me.